Hey guys, this is going to be a straightforward market update. What market? Well, the market segment that is gaining popularity amongst big bike buyers nowadays, which is the 800 to 1000cc, because what we have here is the latest bike to hit the market within that market segment, and that is the Kawasaki Z900 ABS. See, it replaces the Z800 and is currently sitting at the very top of the CKD range of Z bikes offered by Kawasaki if you take away the CBU unit Z1000. Well, it's got a lot riding on its shoulder, right? Definitely. But to me personally, something is not quite right. So let's figure out how good this bike really is. Okay, first up, let's talk about the good bits. This bike is really all about sheer power, and that really should be the headliner when anybody is talking about this bike. It's probably the best feature that this bike has to offer you. You see, the engine here is a 948cc, 4-stroke inline-4 water-cooled unit. Alright, so 948cc is basically stretching the segment category because it's 948cc. Alright, it's coming towards the 1000cc category. It's very revvy, very revvy. Get on the bike and you will definitely appreciate this first. And the power has been tuned to be best delivered in the mid to upper range, making this a sprinter and a screamer. Now, screamer because it has an acoustically tuned airbox that makes the bike howl, especially when you're in the upper revs. So when you do take this bike out on the road and you really give it the beans, you will hear a very distinct howling sound, which makes this bike very attractive in that way. But I say sprinter, the question that then comes is whether this bike is going to be rubbish down below. Well, okay, the next redeeming feature for this new bike is the added lightness that it now has. You see, this new bike comes with a tubular steel trellis frame which replaces the old caster alloy units. Now, along with the extruded aluminum swing arm, it basically sheds 20 kilograms of the total weight of the old bike, which is definitely a very welcome thing. You see, despite the fact that the engine is tuned to give best performance mid to upper range, but because there's less mass to heave around, that means power down below is still okay given the fact that this bike is lighter. So that's definitely a good thing. Also, the 5-spoke lightweight alloy wheels also further adds to that. Stopping power, you've got 300mm dual discs up front and 250mm a single disc at the back, giving you good stopping power. Now, ABS comes as standard, so that's an added feature. So it's light and it stops very well. But with ABS comes my gripe. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit difficult for me to say, but because I really want to like this bike, but I feel that this one omission in the spec sheet really is bothering me. You see, I'm very grateful that this bike comes with ABS. In fact, I think all bikes should come with ABS as standard. And you know what else I think should come as standard? Other driver aids, namely traction control, and the selection of ride modes. You see, because I think when you are spending money to the tune of the price of this bike, you would expect to get at least more than just the very basic raw feel of what the bike has to offer. And when you're riding here in Malaysia, you cannot deny the fact that our weather changes just like that. And you are faced with all different sorts of challenges on the road, not only from the road itself and other riders and drivers, but also in the way the weather changes, and it's very challenging. And I think it's very important to always allow our riders to feel as safe as possible. Hence, traction control should be there, in my opinion. But this is not a Malaysia problem. You see, as far as I know, this is traction control and ride modes is not offered anywhere. I think that Kawasaki should at least offer this as an option, because when you put this as an option, I am sure a lot of Malaysians and people around the world basically will spend money for that added safety. Yes, ABS is already giving them that added safety, but this is even more. Traction control, losing your losing grip on your tires when you're faced with a situation when you're riding in the rain, and this is rain that you can't help but to go through, for example. So I think that this is just one thing that really dampened the entire spirit of this bike. It could have been all that, but because of the fact of that it lacks traction control and different rider modes, I think it's a downer. Okay, so I've done my ranting, and now let's just focus on the good bits. You see, this bike's got talent, definitely. And the talent that this bike has, basically, it almost makes it okay that it doesn't have all those electronic garbage that I've mentioned earlier. So, okay, I'll let that one slide. On top of that, you've got some choice. You see, this bike also comes with slipper clutch, and also it's got an attractive LCD display. So all these things makes it all okay and worthwhile. But the best thing about this bike, apart from the relatively low price for what it can offer, is the fact that this bike also comes with a very, very wide dealer network and servicing network. You can have this bike and get it serviced anywhere in the country because Kawasaki has reaches all the way out there like that. So that's definitely peace of mind when you buy this bike. Okay, now, despite no electronics, I think I'm going to go and have a little bit of fun.